don't know how we got all these books on the plane. Hey, what's up everyone? It's Emily and welcome back to my channel. I am back. It's the day before Halloween when I am filming this, so hopefully I get it out today or tomorrow. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, and I'm so sorry that I haven't uploaded. I was visiting family for a couple of weeks, and then things just have been crazy, and jet lag was terrible, and now we're back. And I'm gonna try and film some more videos and get them out to you because I have missed making videos. I have missed interacting with everybody and talking about books. So thank you so much for being here. And yeah, while Hugo and I were visiting my family in the States for a couple of weeks, we went all over the state and went to a million different bookstores, most of them used bookstores. Not actually a million, but like 4. And we got some amazing books. We also picked up some books that I had from my home that I couldn't bring with me the first time I came here to Belgium. So we also took some of those back over with us, and I also got one as a gift. So I'm just going to show you all the books that we got while we were visiting the States. We took the trip knowing that we were going to bring a lot of stuff back, so it was actually really funny. We were in the airport and we had one of our carry-ons was completely empty, so then we ended up having the stuff in our carry-on so that it wasn't like so suspicious or weird that we had just this empty bag with us. And then we both only half filled our checked bags, so we had lots of room for books, and I feel like that's the only way we were able to get these back over. It was insane. I actually didn't think we were going to be able to bring all these books back, and we were just at the weight limit. It was kind of wild. So I'm just going to share with you, these are not all my books. A lot of them are also Hugo's, but I thought maybe you'd want to see them. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of like go through this pile here and it's going to be interesting. So the first one I want to show you is this beautiful copy of Charles Dickens's David Copperfield. I am in love with this cover. This is an old edition. We got this at this haunted bookstore. It has like, I swear, a million books in it. I kind of half vlogged it, and I'm hoping that if the editing turns out okay, I'll post it on shorts or something. But I am in love with this art and this street view and everything. I've never read David Copperfield. It is one that I want to read, so I'm very much looking forward to it, and I'm really glad that Hugo found this because, like, whoa. It almost feels too precious to read, so maybe I need a different copy, or I think we might have it in one of his collections somewhere, but yeah. Next is this really cool edition of Return of the King. Hugo really loves vintage fantasy. I do too, but he's really, really into it. And I love this art. And he also found an edition of The Hobbit, which I don't think we have The Lord of the Rings in English, or at least The Hobbit in English. So that was why he wanted to get this one for sure. These were some really cool editions that he found that were really beautiful. And he also found another Tolkien book. I've never even heard of this. Again, really cool art on it. And I love dragons, so that's always a plus. At that haunted bookstore as well, he also found some of Plato's works and the great dialogues of Plato. So Hugo is also very into philosophy, so I think this is good for his little collection. And again, these beautiful old copies, and I can't tell you how like supple these pages feel. They're very old, kind of falling apart, but I almost think that gives them more charm, and I can't wait to page through them and learn a bit more about Plato as well. Like, I'm very interested in ancient Greece though, so I think this will be very interesting to page through. This is a book that I had, this is in no order by the way, so if I can remember where we got them, I will tell you, but this is one that was sitting on our shelf. I got this a couple years ago after we read the first Kyoshi book in the Bible Club. Rest in peace. I want to start that up again so bad. But this is the sequel in the Kyoshi duology, and I got this years ago. I don't know if it was for Christmas or if I just bought it. I don't remember. Hugo might have bought it. I don't even know. But it was sitting at my parents' house, and so I grabbed this off the shelf so that we didn't buy another copy of it. And I'm very excited to read this one. I loved the first Kyoshi book. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, so yeah, this is good. So the next is a Star Wars book that my parents found for Hugo. It's called Star Wars Legacy, and it's volume 2, so we've got to find the first one somewhere, but it's got really cool art on it, and the inside also looks really great. And, you know, we're big Star Wars nerds in this house, so an amazing collection, an amazing addition to the collection. Next is one that was also on our shelf, and that's the second one in the Jim Butcher Dresden Files, that's what it is. I've never read them. It was something Hugo was interested in, and I don't know if I had bought this for him or if he bought it the last time he was in the States, but it was sitting on the shelf waiting for us, so we took this one back as well, so that Hugo could continue the series, because I know that was something he was interested in. Next book is actually one of the only new books I think that we bought in the whole thing. It might be the only new book that we bought the entire trip, and it's called How Do You Live? And we found this at a local, like, boutique store. It was all local handcrafted like art and stuff like that, and then this book was in there, and I don't know, it seems like the only thing that wasn't like locally made. The woman at the store told me it's a Japanese classic book that they read, that the children in Japan read in school, so that kind of intrigued me. And then Hugo and I read the back and we were like, oh, okay, like this sounds somewhat interesting. So then we picked it up because, like, supporting local businesses, but also I love the cover. It's a coming of age novel that takes place in 1937. So I don't know much more beyond that, but I'm excited to read it. This next one is one that I found at a thrift store, and it's the Demigod Files. I have never read I'm a huge Percy Jackson fan. I have never read these books before, and I just knew I had to. So when I saw that it was there and it was like $2 or something, I snagged it so fast because I've never read the Demigod Files, and I feel like that's a necessity for me. I've also been rereading Heroes of Olympus. No, what is the second series? Yeah, no, Heroes of Olympus, I think. I've been rereading that one. I never finished it, so I'm on Mark of Athena right now, so like 3 out of 5. It's as good as I remember. It's better than I remember, because I wasn't into it the first time I read the Heroes of Olympus series, and now that I'm rereading it, it's better than I remembered. So much better. I love it a lot. The next one is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry, and this is one that, if you remember, that Hugo told me to put on my TBR for like my last book calendar TBR from last year, and we didn't own it yet, so I finally own it, so I can read it now. And I'm very excited because I've always really liked Frederick Bachman's work and the way that he deals with a lot of very harsh issues. I did a review on Beartown. I've read Anxious People. You know, he's just got a way of taking very serious topics and making them sometimes lighthearted, but also he brings out the nuance in a lot of those situations. So I have really almost no idea what this book is about, and I am excited to read it. Yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say than that. This next one was a gift from my beautiful friend Erin, and she bought me the Fragments of Sappho, which I've been... And Hugo also bought me a Sappho collection, so I now have 2 Sappho books, which is very exciting. This has Sappho's fragments, and I have been wanting to read her stuff for forever, and I just have never gotten around to it. It just wasn't... You can't really find it in, like, at least I haven't been able to in any of the local stores, so you really have to go out of your way to find it, and I just hadn't yet. But yeah, it's got the what was written in Greek, and then the English translation of it, which is really, really cool. I love seeing the original text next to what we translated to. It includes all the fragments, the parts that are missing and everything. It's very, very interesting, and I love it. It's a beautiful edition, and thank you, Erin, if you see this. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, we're getting to like the last couple. So these are the ones that I bought at the Haunted Bookstore. Now, I couldn't find a lot that I really wanted from there in terms of like novels and stuff. They didn't have anything that really spoke to me as something I wanted to read. But they had a lot of old plays, or not all old plays, but they had a lot of plays in the play section, and I have been wanting to read some more plays, or to just own a couple, and they were a decent price, and so I thought I would get a couple. Shout out to my mom for getting them for me. So the first one is The Crucible, which I already finished since buying it, and it did not live up to my expectations. Let's just say that. But I'm glad that I read it because it's a very famous play. Everyone talks about it, and I feel like it gets referenced a lot. It's about the Salem witch trials, if that's something you're interested in. I don't know, maybe at some point I'll do a review or talk about this book because I have like lots of issues with it, but yeah, I'm still glad that I read it. Next is the Orestes plays, which is the Agamemnon, the Libation Bearers, and the Eumenides, which is 3 plays by Aeschylus. I learned a bit about Greek theater when I was in college, and I'm very interested in Greek theater and the mythology that surrounds it, so I thought it would be interesting to... I've read I believe I've read the Agamemnon, and I've read snippets of the other ones, but I want to read the full play, so that's why I grabbed this one. I grabbed Anton Chekhov's 5 plays, so, and again, I've read like 1 or 2 of Anton Chekhov's plays, thought they were pretty interesting. Again, it's a classic theater that gets referenced a lot, and a lot of people still do these plays, so I thought I might as well just like read them and at least know what they're about. I thought that'd be interesting, and it was one of the few ones that was like in really good condition yet. A lot of the books there were not doing too great. And I really loved the art, which is the other thing that really stuck out to me on this. It looks like it's pointillism. I'm sure someone will know the artist on this, but I just don't off the top of my head. I love the art, and it was in great condition, and I've been wanting to read them, so yeah. And then the last one I got is called 4,000 Miles. This is one I actually have read before because I have an audition monologue from this play that I used to use a lot, but I never owned a copy of it. And when I saw it there, I was like, I have to get it. And like, if I ever use that monologue again, I can like actually reference the play like on paper instead of reading everything off the computer. I don't know about you, but I do not absorb information well off of a screen. I do not, when I read things on my computer, I do not absorb that information like at all versus when I read it from a text. It's actually pretty wild. I don't know why that is. So if anyone has the answer to that, let me know. And then the last book I want to talk about is The Maidens. I don't know, again, I don't know much about this book other than it's dark academia, and I had been wanting to read some more dark academia. There's also Greek mythology in this, which was the other reason I was like, oh, when I saw it on the shelf. And I also bought this used at a thrift store. I'm not in the book club, unfortunately. Oh, these are the watercolors I made. I didn't realize that I had shoved them in here. Dark academia, Greek mythology kind of spoke to me. I also really, really love this cover, and it was a hardcover, and it was like $2 or something. So I was like, listen, I'll make an exception because I will read it no matter what. And I haven't heard a lot about it, if anything. So like me grabbing it and like reading the inside, I'm like, okay, I'm not basing this off of someone else's opinion whether or not I think it's going to be good. So if I don't like it, I only have myself to blame. Those are all the books that we brought back from the US on our trip. That was a lot of books. I still don't know how we did it. I don't know how we got all these books on the plane, and they all made it back safely. I think these are all going to be great to the collection. I can't wait to read the ones that we got. I've already started reading them, so I'm very excited to get through it, and yeah, it's great, I think. If you've read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts on them below. I would love to hear from you. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.